Hi there, my name is Dr. Alex Moldovan. I am a physical therapist who is currently doing travel physical therapy, and I decided I wanted to go to Alaska. So I was trying to figure out all the steps to do so because my state is Pennsylvania. That's my hometown, or my home state, and we do not have the compact right now. So unfortunately, I have to apply to every single state that I go to. So it took some time for me to figure things out. I had a little help with some other people. So figured this video would be really helpful for people who are just wanting to figure out how to get this application in as quickly as possible, because it does take quite a bit of time. So they recommend it takes about 8 weeks to be able to get this application put in and together. It took me about 6 weeks, but I think the fastest that you could probably get it done would be in a 4-week time period. So this is just to get licensed. This is not any extra things like you would need to get a job. Like, I'm sure after you get a job, you might need to go through a drug screen or get fingerprinted, get extra clearances and things like that. But no, this is just the basic way of getting the application. All right, so to start things off, you want to get to the Alaskan website here. I'm going to put a link in the description. So this is the application that you need right here for physical therapy. So let's just go ahead and we'll click on that and get that opened up. So this is what your application looks like. It's a super long document, about 22 pages long, but don't worry, you don't have to worry about all of this. I'm just going to break down a lot of the things you have to primarily focus on. So there are two big things that are probably good to be looking at here. And it's going to be right here on the very, very first page, this qualifications for licensure area. It's going to be really great because it kind of has a checklist for us to be able to know what we're going to be going through and things like that. So I guess just starting off, some of the fees that you see right here. So in total of all of the fees for this application, for this process, it's going to be about $475. That does sound like a lot. So you want to make sure whenever you are getting your contract that you kind of bill in some of that licensure reimbursement. And if the company doesn't have that, make sure they're paying you really well, because yeah, this can get pretty expensive switching states, switching between contracts. So yeah, and I'll kind of run down all of the expenses a little bit later, but yeah, starting off right here. So you want to make sure that you get the application completed. That's kind of step one, filling out most of these things. And again, we'll go through this in a sec. The license fee with the application, that's going to be paid at the same time on another page. The authorization of release of records. So this is a page that you're just going to have to sign. Your officials transcripts submitted directly from the school. Obtaining your scores from the Fsbpt, from the National Board Exam, verification of licensure, a professional reference, and then verification of hours, of working hours. So this is going to be also something. And lastly is the jurisprudence questionnaire. So the jurisprudence, the verification of work, the personal reference, the authorization, and yeah, these first two. So everything, but it seems like 4, 5, and 6 are going to be used directly on this paper. There are ways that you can use this application to figure out these things, but I'll try to show you a little bit faster of a way. So if, like me, you are doing it with credentials, so you're already a licensed physical therapist in another state, you're going to follow this process. Otherwise, you're going to do it through the licensure by examination, which is a little bit different than what I did, but I'm sure that there is very similar steps that we're going to be taking. Also, for the temporary permit, I'm sure that's for people who are doing examination but have not finished their examination yet, so they've got the temporary permit. So skipping down a little bit more, these are just some general things. Feel free to read through those, more general stuff. This right here is the checklist. So I primarily use that as well. So the application again, the authorization of records, the jurisprudence, some of the fees, Alaska employment. If you have employment, you could put this down. I did not have employment at the time because I got my license long before I had employment. So for the examination, this only applies for examination, not you. For the next section right here, this is just the professional fitness questions. It's just primarily figuring out if you are fit to practice, you are able to perform basic job duties as a physical therapist. And then extra required documents. So this is kind of important. We had someone who they had gotten married and they had a name change, and they had to go just through some extra steps, and it increased their time a little bit. So if you fall in that category, make sure you have that set up. So yeah, again, here are the things submitted to the agency. So your transcripts, Fsbpt, verifications, and the professional reference. So continuing down right here, you're just going to fill out all of this. Make sure it's set up directly to you. Make sure you're credentialed, things like that. Fill in all of these. Fill in all of this. So if you're a transitional program, you can do that as well. So the examinations, you say which state you took the examination at, what facility you took it at, date administered, if you passed or failed. If you failed, then you have to put in a couple more times until you get that good pass. And then this is the fun one right here. So this is your license numbers per state. If you're a traveler like me, you probably have a couple. I've got, I think, 4 different licenses right now in 4 different states. So you're just going to have to put every single one down right here. This is just showing your identification number, your license number. And then if you're in the compact, oh, this is really nice. You can get to check this off. So you get to just kind of put in the compact state and the privilege numbers and things like that. Next, right here, we've got the professional fitness questions. This is just to make sure that you are going to practice ethically and you're not under the influence of drugs or unable to perform any duties that would involve you being a physical therapist. This is for you temporary permanent workers if you're planning on taking the examination, but you want to get working first before you do that. Last on here is the employment, Alaska employment. If you are planning on working or you already have a job in place, you can actually write down the employer. Again, as a traveling physical therapist, you may not have this, as you usually have to get your license long before you even take an employment. All right, the notary signature page. So my recommendation is after everything's printed off and everything and filled out, you just save this page to be signed, because usually the notary likes to see you sign this. Sometimes they don't care. Primarily, they just want to make sure that your signature that's on this page is matching to one of a state-given license or a credit card or something else that just has your signature written on it with your name already printed on it, because then they're just going to kind of compare those 2 signatures. Yeah, there's another time you might need the notary, and that's primarily if you are a temporary, which we're going to cover that just in a little bit, or if you are getting your name changed that we talked about up above. I would definitely make sure you bring all those things in, because you'll definitely need a notary for those times as well. So this is the authorization release of records. You just fill this out. Then verification of licensure. So this is if you do not have, like if you have your licensure in specific states, you can use this form and send this form to your state. Or, so I have two licenses, one in Washington State and one in Colorado. Both of those were automatically found by Alaska, but Pennsylvania was not found by Alaska. So I could fill this out and do all of that stuff, or I could actually just go directly to the Alaskan website and send my verification or the Pennsylvania website and send the verifications of licensure to Alaska. So I don't have to really worry about filling out this form and sending it and making sure the board seal is on there and everything. So this next page right here, professional reference. If I were you, just probably do the same thing as me. Send your professional reference to an old boss who would also be able to fill out the verification of working experience. So it's extremely important that when you fill this out first, send this to them, because it has to be sent from them to the Alaskan Board of Physical Therapy, Physical and Occupational Therapy. And you can kind of just see this email address right here. Just make sure they send it to that email. So that's one of the few things that can be emailed. The rest of this application actually has to be mailed in. And I'll get into that in a little bit as well. So verification of working experience and the professional reference. Then scrolling down a little bit, we've got the statement of responsibility. It's only for those temporary permits. For those of you who have not completed examination yet. And this is where you would have that second time that you would need that notary stamp. If you don't have that, then that's completely fine. So next, the jurisprudence exam. This is, it's pretty simple. Really, it's not too hard of an exam. Some of these questions are obvious. Some of them you don't really know because of just like these numeric values and things like that. The best part is this is right here, these 4 areas right here. I'm going to put links of these as well down in the description. But these are where all the answers are found. It's an open book test, so you can completely use these as sources as you complete this test. And the best part is, because it's an open book and you can use it in everything, you can just kind of use the quick Control F to kind of find some of these questions. I do highly recommend reading the whole thing, but sometimes even after you read the whole thing, you don't remember some of those specific questions. So that open F is really good. Answers are going to be filled out right underneath while citing everything, because you have to make sure you cite it. And this is it. Good 20 questions. It takes maybe about 10-15 minutes getting through all of that. Credit card payment form. So this is one of the biggest reasons why they do not let you email it. They want you to mail it only. So you could just add this along with your packets of all the things that you're going to mail in. I did the credit card just because of wanting the cash back for it. And also I don't usually keep checks too often. After you're all done with everything that you finish right here, you're going to be shipping all that information out, and you're going to be sending it directly to the PO box that's kind of written right at the top right here. So the notary that's going to be required, notarization that's going to be required, it's going to be, right here. The best part is, like, UPS usually has a notary on site. So if you want to kind of just bring all of your paperwork, fill out this application, have that notary put that stamp on, and then just ship it out all at once. It's not too expensive. I think it's about $14 for what I paid for the notary service and shipping with a high-class package. So right here, we're just on the Fsbpt website, making sure that you can figure out where we go for submitting our scores to the Alaskan State Board of Physical Therapy. We'll just get you logged in here, and then it will take us to the next steps. So once you're logged in, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be transferring your score to a state, which is right here on the services option. We're going to tap on that real quick. So looking at some of these, I'm going to blur some of this out. You are just completing some of the information that you have, hitting continue. Click on the date of the exam that you want, then the jurisdiction that you want it to be delivered to. And then hitting continue, credit card information, hitting continue, and then it's just going to fill out the rest of the stuff so you can submit to this, to the application. So this one's a little bonus for those of you from Pennsylvania. How do you submit your forms? So great way to submit your forms is you're just going to go ahead and click on this little icon right here next to your current professional license. And then there is the option of verification/certification. You're going to go ahead and hit on that. Go ahead and just kind of follow the steps. You're going to select the board that you want to go to, and then you're going to add that to cart. And then once you add that to cart, you're just going to pay that $15, and that's going to send your verifications of license out to the state that you want to go to. So the final thing I'm going to share with you guys is the breakdown of the overall costs. So we kind of have that application fee right here, the license fee. That's going to be your two big costs directly from the application itself. State license verification. So depending on how many states you have, how many states will allow for it. For me, it was just that $15 that I had to pay for Pennsylvania because Washington and Colorado were both free. Transcripts directly from your school. You can go on your school's website just by searching transcripts and then your graduating school, and they should be able to send that out. For me, it was only $3.50 to send that. Notary and shipping fees are about $14. The Fsbpt fees, $92, which brings it out to a nice clean total of $475 right here. So that's about how much you're going to be paying for everything as you go through it. And after I get everything submitted, so you go through all of the application, everything, you've got the state license, the transcripts, the Fsbpt. Once everything is filled out, as well as your two reference forms, then it usually takes about 2 weeks from once everything is submitted, 2 to 4 weeks once everything is submitted, and then you should be able to get your license. And that's everything with that. I don't think I have missed anything for this other than if it's not included in your state, or if I don't have your state or other things like that. But feel free to write down in the comments and I will answer any questions I can. I'm going to try to do this as I continue to keep traveling, just be putting on different ways to obtain your license from different states as I do all of these states, just because it does take a little bit of time to figure out initially. But yeah, we just want to make sure that everyone is going to where they want to go, especially if they're traveling. It's a wonderful thing. It's really, really cool to travel around, see amazing and beautiful places that you never be able to go do or even travel to, because let's be honest, traveling is very expensive nowadays. So it's really great to have that opportunity. So thank you guys so much for watching this, and God bless you all.